Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live tonight. So excited. I'm excited because I'm going to share with you very simply how to renegotiate your life, how to renegotiate your life, the pieces in your life so that you can have more joy, more freedom, more income, more time to do what you want to do the way that you want to do. You get to redo the life that you're in. I'm going to share my best practices with you over the next couple of minutes. I am so excited about this. If there's ever a question that I get over and over again, it is regarding this topic: how to have a do-over, a makeover in your life. Like, is it too late if I'm in my career for 20 years to change everything? As a mom, I want to change the way that I'm showing up for my kids, my husband, and most importantly for myself, and I'm not sure if I can do it. Maybe you feel stuck in your career. You like what you do, but you're not working the way that you'd like to work. It doesn't bring you the joy, the fulfillment, it doesn't give you the flexibility. This live is going to be for you. How to renegotiate your life. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started in my business about 20 years ago, and I had to answer that question for myself. I had to figure out simply, how would I renegotiate my life? I have a background as a corporate trainer, and I was really great at it. I worked for a Fortune 100 company, but I knew that I wanted to figure out how to go to work for myself. And the question for me was, is this possible, Linda? Is it possible? Would somebody pay me to be myself? I literally remember saying that to my husband. And I want you to know, if you've ever asked yourself this question: is it possible for me to change the pieces, the moving parts in my life and world, and from this moment forward, change the trajectory of how I live, how I work, and how I earn? You are in the right place today. Do me a favor. If you're here, let me know where you're from. I would love to know where you're from. And have you ever asked yourself this question: how can I have a do-over, a makeover, change some component of my life to create greater joy and fulfillment? Well, as a result of me asking myself this question, I started looking at running a business, start operating a business based on what I knew how to do. And I had no idea how in the world would I get started. And so my very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town. And I was told by the director of the Small Business Resource Center that my idea, mom coaching, that at that time, this is 20 years ago, there were no mom coaches, that it didn't make any sense, and that no one would ever pay me to do what I ended up doing: coaching women, coaching moms. And I'm so grateful. Hey there, Michelle. I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful that I didn't listen to that director, that I followed that voice that was inside of me that just told me that my knowledge, my background, my gifts, my experience, that there was something there that was packageable, that was monetizable, that I had the ability to restructure and renegotiate the way that I earned. Well, fast forward, I've had the opportunity to build an amazing business around my life. And I mean, literally, I've coached thousands of women around the world, and I help them take their knowledge, their gifts, their talent, their experience, and to package what they know into high ticket products on and offline. We've got an incredible track record of women just like you, who, just like me, were trying to figure out for themselves, how do I take all of these years of experience? How do I take my expertise? How do I take my background and leverage it in a completely different way? Well, that's exactly what I've done. And the magic for me happened when I didn't even know it happened. Truthfully, my husband developed kidney disease, many of you guys know, about 13 years ago, and went on dialysis. And it was a really scary time for my family. And it was during that time that, because I had built my business properly, when my husband needed me most, I could stand in the gap for my family. And I know that a lot of the women that watch me, one of the reasons you want to build your business is because you want financial security. And I saw that head on for us when we had a really tough time. My husband later got a kidney transplant. It's done amazingly well. And one of the things that I'm so excited about was we were able to hire for him a private physician so he could get amazing care during that time. You know, my kids never missed a beat, We never missed a beat as a family. And that's really important because if you're building this business, if you're renegotiating the parts, some of you might need to be able to show up and be additional support to your spouse, or maybe to your parents, or maybe you want to invest in private school for your kids. I mean, my husband and I have invested over $1 million just in elementary, middle, and high school, like really. Okay. And maybe you're one of those types of investors in independent schools for your kids in elementary, middle, and high school. Or maybe you just got to have freedom. Now, for me, that was one of the things that I had to have. And if you're out here and you're like, Mia, I got to have freedom. I got to figure out how to take control of my time. I want you to write time here, right? Hashtag time, because that was my why. That was the thing that drove me over and over again. So I realized that me packaging my knowledge, my gifts, my talent, and my experience allowed me to stand in the gap for my family. It allowed me to provide a world-class education for my children equally, but it also allowed me to get myself free. And I'm not saying this to anyone to be braggadocious, anything like this, but I want to hit to the core today because I'm going to talk about how to renegotiate your life. But the reason you want to renegotiate your life is because there is a reason for it. And it's likely related to time, financial freedom, joy, some kind of security you want. Maybe you want to make an investment in your family. Maybe you want to secure your retirement. There's something. Write the reason below. And even if you're watching the replay, and I hear people all the time that say, look, I want to do over, I want to make over, but none of it works if you don't have a why. For me, my why was time. Linda says her why is time. And Gwendolyn, welcome. You're from North Carolina, and Michelle, Vegas, and Andrea, San Antonio, and Linda, Memphis, Tennessee. Awesome. Good to see, right? So Michelle writes, you want to be free to decide, right? You want to be free. And there's no price that I can put on freedom. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 2 decades, my husband and I both. And I will tell you, there is just the joy that comes along with being able to control your time and work the way that you want to. If you guys are ready, you know the drill. If you're listening to my lives, you know the drill. Okay. If you're ready, then I want you to write, I'm ready. Today, I'm going to teach on very simply how to renegotiate the pieces in your life, how to renegotiate. Hey there, Hillary. Hey, darling. Now I know your baby is not even a baby anymore. The baby is probably like 5. Okay. But how amazing. I'm so glad that you're here. But if you're ready, I want you to write, I'm ready. And if you're watching the replay, write, I'm ready. Because you have to be ready to receive a powerful message. And this is really a powerful message. And I'm only coming here, guys, because my goal is to support more women and understanding that you can choose powerfully for yourself by understanding these moving parts of what to renegotiate. All right. And sometimes we're like, I want to change. This is what we think. I want to change, but we just don't know the parts. Right? We don't know the pieces that we need to reach for or think about that can really make a difference in the change. So my only goal today is to support you in that process. So let's see who's ready. Kenyatta is ready. Charmaine is ready. Michelle's ready. Erica's ready. Linda's ready. Hillary, of course, you're ready. And I'm so excited. And if you're watching the replay, I want you to type, I'm ready, because you have to be ready to receive a powerful message. How to renegotiate your life. Number 1, okay. The first thing that I found for myself when I made that decision that I no longer wanted my focus to be my career, but instead I wanted to build my own business on my own terms. The very first thing I had to do was decide that what I wanted was possible, that it was obtainable. I'm going to break that down. Okay. I had to decide that what I wanted was a possibility, that it was obtainable. And the reason that I wrote this here is because if you've never seen someone build the brand of you, then likely you don't have any examples of it being done. When I got started, there were no mom coaches, and I started my business as a mom coach. So it would have been very easy, because there were no other mom coaches, for me to believe that no one would invest in a mom coach. You guys with me? Okay. So the first thing that I had to wrap my head around was that the reason I'm here, the reason you're here, was to broker this idea. Okay. And I stopped looking to my right and stopped looking to my left, trying to search for that big giant idea that was inside of my heart, my mind, that God gave me. Okay. And I decided I was meant to lead from the front with this idea. This is a powerful thought. But if you're feeling me, I want you to write me, I'm getting this. Okay. You got to decide that what you want is possible, that it's obtainable. And the reason that we are always looking for validation is for parking lots, not for dreams, by the way. The reason we're looking for validations is because we are wondering, is it possible? Can I do it? Will this work for me? And it will work for you. The reason that you see it is because you're meant to broker that idea. I see it all the time. But the idea of you looking for someone else doing the thing that is the calling that's on your life, you're not going to see it because you're meant to do it. So what I realized when I went to that small business resource center and the director told me that my idea would never work, he had never seen any other mom coaches out there at that time. So he couldn't validate the idea. So he wasn't trying to be discouraging. He just didn't have proof of concept. The truth of the matter was, I decided to do it anyway, and I want you to do it anyway. And when I stepped into it, I began writing my books. I wrote 2 books that became bestsellers. I ended up getting many corporate partnerships with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 brands as the mom strategist. I got signed to 2 Emmy-nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. I began to build a coaching business and brand with other women who wanted me to transfer what I had done. How did I build this brand? How did I pitch the media? How did I do all of these things? They wanted me to teach them how to do the same thing. And so as a result of that, I ended up writing about 164 books over the course of about maybe like 13 years or so, something like that, and helping other women build their business, build their brands, identify how to pitch and sell what it is that they know how to do. And every single thing that I do today, coaching women around packaging their knowledge, I only teach what I do. I only teach what I do. So the first thing I had to do was decide that what I wanted was possible. Even though there was no proof, even though there were no examples, okay, even though no one said me this is going to work, but I was primed for the job, and I want you to know that you are primed for the job. So the first thing you got to do if you want to renegotiate your life, decide what is possible for you, right? Andrea writes, when you don't see the model, be the model. I love that. I'm going to just highlight that. When you don't see the model, be the model. Absolutely. Because you're meant to broker that idea. And I later learned that because I stepped into it, that I was able to broker this area of mom coaching that was my specific niche and start in coaching. All right. The second thing, if you want to renegotiate your life, is you need to write out the vision and make it plain and keep it simple. All right. So you need to write out your vision and make it plain, right? And keep it simple. So for me, I didn't know all that I wanted to do. I didn't know that it would be Emmy-nominated television. I didn't know that, but I knew I wanted to do TV. I knew that I wanted to do corporate partnerships. And I knew that I knew how to package content at a very high level because that's my professional background. I worked for a bank and a Fortune 100 bank, and that's what I did for them was write curriculum at a very high level. I can do it in my sleep, right? So I knew I wanted to do those things. So I wrote out my vision that those were the tools that I wanted to use. My skill, my creativity, my background as a corporate trainer. I wanted to leverage that. I wanted to do TV. Okay. And I thought that I would have a mission to support millions of moms around the world with this notion around my book, Time for Mommy, right? So that was my vision. It was really simple. I wanted to take something that I knew how to do, which was practice great me time and self-care as a mother so that I could show up for my kids in powerful ways. That's what my books were about. I wanted to write about that. So I kept the vision really simple. I stuck to the things that I was really good at. I didn't go outside of myself and choose passions. I chose my innate gifts, skills, talents. I chose the things that already had evidence, that already had proof. Are you guys feeling this? Are you getting this? All right. So many people think when they're getting started in business, like, I'm going to choose my passion. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about that. But at the end of the day, if you choose the thing that you always do anyway really well, those are your gifts, and your gifts and your passions are different. So 20 years ago, I signed up for, oh, not 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I signed up for my first triathlon, right? And I've done 3.5. So I signed up and I didn't know how to swim. Very, very passionate about it. However, I actually am not really a great triathlete in terms of the numbers, my numbers. Okay. Like, I'm not the fastest swimmer. I'm not the fastest on the bike, and I'm not the fastest with the run, but I'm really passionate about the race and finishing the races. It's just really something that drives me. So there's a difference between the things we're passionate at and the things that we're gifted at. And what I'm suggesting that you do, number two, when you write out your vision, you make it plain and you keep it simple, is think about your giftedness. Now, your gifts always will make room for you. Your gifts, that you already know what your gifts are. And we all have a gift. And a lot of times we ignore the gifts because because we're just breathing with the gift. But I'm challenging you right now to think about, what is the gift that you have. It might be something that you're doing at work, that every time you do it, people say, man, you do this better than anyone else. What is that? Go deeper. It might be, it might be the way that you treat your clients. It might be your process. It might be that. It might be the way that you address people, the way you relate to them, your systems that, create greater rapport. It could be something like that. It might be the way you organize something. It might be how detailed you are in your process, but we all have something that is our giftedness. And likely life is giving you feedback already, right, in the form of compliments, or people saying, man, this really changed my life. I know for me, I was competent at something that I didn't even know was a thing. Like, I always dated myself from the time I was 6 months pregnant, because my mom made me promise to date myself as a new mom. And so this is 23 years ago. I'm dating myself. I enter motherhood. All of these women that are moms in my world are always asking me, how is it that you always make time for yourself? When do you have time to read a book? How is it that you always date your husband, like yourself, right? Like, they just couldn't understand how I was making room in my life for that. And I decided to systematically put together my process, my system, because it was my system, and share it with other women so that they could do the same. You've got a system inside of you too that likely you've never thought about, but I want you to write it down. I want you to make it plain. And I want you to start thinking about that, because that's the thing that you can lead with. And then the third thing that I want you to do, if you want to renegotiate your life, is align your vision while growing your belief system. All right, now this is a little deep. Okay, so you got to align your vision, okay, while growing your belief system. Because if it's something that you're doing that you haven't done before, okay, the only thing that will ever stop anyone is their belief system. Trust me on this, okay? The reason that people undercharge is belief system. The reason that people don't finish their dreams or go forward or make that call or start that business is because of their belief systems. So one of the things that's really important is aligning the vision that you have with growing, right? Growing your belief system. So I realized I was my number one investment. So I invested in myself in incredible ways. I am an avid reader. I've read thousands of books to work on my thought life so that I could show up powerfully for myself. And my question to you is, what is getting in the way of the vision that you have for yourself? If I asked you right now, what is it that you see for yourself? You might call off 1, 2, 3 things. You've thought about it over and over again. You've played it in your mind over and over again. And yet you haven't made that move, right? Outside of what you're doing professionally. What's in the way? Likely it's your belief system. Belief system could say things to you like, you know what? There's not enough time to do this. Not enough money to do this. You're not going to be able to do this and do this. You're not going to be able to start this business and, work in this career. You're going to have to choose. Your belief system might say it won't work. Even if you do this, what are the chances that you're going to have success at this, right? Your belief system might tell you that the only way to do what you're doing is to charge low ticket for what you're doing. And so because of that, you're like, I'm doing it, but you never quite hit a place in your business financially that really honors and values the gifts and talents you have because of your belief system. I'm telling you, this is true. I watch women every day, and a lot of my clients are here as well, who renegotiate the way they earn. And the only thing that happens is that they understand what is possible, and we shift their belief systems in many ways through many different processes, right? And because of that, they can step into a higher version of earning for themselves. They can create greater time freedom for themselves. They can decide for themselves how they're going to create this transition plan to get themselves free, to stay free. And my question to you is, are you willing to do that work? If you're willing to do that work, I want you to write, you know what? I'm willing to do that work. I'm going to read a couple comments. Erica says, there's a difference between our passions and gifts. And Hillary says, that was the wonderful system. So glad you shared that with us. I'm on a retreat this week. Awesome. I'm so glad. And Linda says, I'm getting this, right? Like, this is so important. And today, what I'm talking about very simply is how to renegotiate your life. And I think a lot of times when we're thinking about renegotiating our lives, we ask the wrong questions. We actually don't know how to renegotiate our life. And so I'm giving you the pieces as I've created them for myself over the years. And my only goal is to support you in understanding, like, here's the framework. This is what I did. Okay. The first thing I did was decide that what I wanted was possible. You got to decide that what you want is obtainable, that it's possible, because that's the only reason you'll take that next step. Number two is you got to write out that vision and make it plain, keep it super simple so that you go back to it over and over again. You're like, this is simple. I can do this. These are the things that I know how to do. All right. Number three, you got to align your vision with your belief system. And if your belief system is incongruent, meaning your beliefs are telling you this is not going to work, this is not going to work, you've got some inner work you've got to put in play, right? You got to read, you got to grow yourself, you got to listen to some audios, you got to do some inner work to grow your belief system so you can step into the tallest and highest version of yourself. And I'm telling you that you are worth it. You are worth it, because that belief system not keeping you where you want to be, or telling you that there isn't enough time, there's not enough money, that you need to go by way, and you need to ask your spouse before you can grow yourself, your dream, and launch. Okay. That's the thing that's getting in the way of you having the life that you desire. And I can tell you for sure, being on the other side of that, okay, I'm so grateful that I took those steps. And that's why I wanted to do this live tonight. Number four is you got to design the business around the life you want. And I talk about this all the time because that's the only way that you won't quit. You got to design this business around the life that you want. Now, I'm going to share my story. I built this business so I could be free. I built the business. I did not build my business for my husband and for my kids. Okay. I knew whether or not I built my business or not, my kids were going to get a great education and they want to have great meals and they would be very secure in their living, right? Because my husband's a great man. But I didn't know how I was going to get myself free. Okay. And the way things were looking for me was I was on that 9 to 7 p.m. plan for 40 years. And I had to figure out how to get myself free. And I just felt like I'm way too smart to work for 40 plus years for someone else. There has got to be another option. And maybe I'm talking to myself, but maybe there's one or two of you out here who've said the exact same thing. And so for myself, I said, I have got to design a business around the life that I wanted. And what that looked like to me was I wanted a business that would allow me to have freedom. Freedom meaning I did not want to have to ask permission to show up at my kids' school, for example, whenever I wanted to, and I wanted to a lot. Okay. I wanted the freedom to date my husband in the middle of the day. Okay. I wanted the freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to work from the comfort of my home or anywhere I chose to around the world. And I've done exactly that. I do exactly that. And I say this because I want more women to know that this is absolutely possible for you. It is not a pipe dream. The thing that changed everything for me is understanding that the money and the freedom is in the model. And when we have a broken model, okay, when we have a broken model, then you never get to live the way that you desire. If your model is broken, I'm talking to you. All right. If you're like, man, I like what I'm doing at work, but if I do this at work, there's no way I can take off but 2 weeks or 3 weeks out of the year to do what I want to do. And that's not the way you want to live for the next of, the next decade or the next 20 years, right? If that's you, I'm talking to you. All right. I knew for me, I wanted to build a business where I could work from the comfort of my home. I coach my clients primarily on Tuesday nights. I have one call a week. The rest of the time is my own. I certainly meet with my team. We do some marketing, but I've built a business that allows me to be free. I just got back from Puerto Rico. I was there alone for the majority of the time. And my husband and my son surprised me, came in to spend my birthday with me. I love being able to vacation when I want to, or to be able to travel or work wherever I want to from around the world. And the reality is that if you have the right models, and it can work for any business, it can work for any background, okay, then the money is in the model. The money is in the model. And you've got to know that in order to design that business around your life, because 20 years ago, the thing I wanted more than anything was freedom. And if you have the right why, right, for yourself, then you won't quit. I meet a lot of people who have been in business and stopped doing business. And I'm like, well, what made you quit? Why did you quit business? And I meet them, they're trying to come back. And it's because they didn't have the right why. They thought they were building their businesses for their kids. And if you think you're building your business for your family, and you've done nothing in your business in the last week or two, you got the wrong why. See, because I had to be free, I did things consistently in my business that would allow me to sustain that freedom, to get that much closer. Okay. And it's something I'm really good at, is supporting women with changing their models, because the money is in the model. The freedom is in the model. The freedom is in the structure, in the process. And if you don't know how to take your knowledge and your background and put it in a structure that creates more time and freedom, then check out the Giant Experience Master Training, because it is a great first step. And it is my system that has supported hundreds of women just like you who didn't have a product, many of them, more than half of them. And they come through the Giant Experience and they get clear about how to take all these years of experience and put it in the structure so that they can monetize. Number 5, you got to do the work so much and spread the seeds that something blooms. And this is really important, because sometimes when people get in business or start business, they actually don't do enough to create a plant, right? Anything blooming. And maybe this is where you sit. You're like, hey, look, I've been in business. I started business, right? But you were on that time clock, right? You're like, if this isn't working 3 months, then I'm out, right? So you got to do the work so much and spread so many seeds that something comes up. And I can tell you that for me, in my business, I created a transition plan for myself. I said, by the time my youngest son is in school all day, I'm going to be doing this thing really full time, right? Like really, okay, full time. And I planted seed everywhere. I wrote my book. Okay. And then I wrote my books, right? Then I pitched to television. I pitched to corporate. I began to do work, take classes, working on myself, investing in myself. I coached. I got coaching. I went to Toastmasters. I practiced. I did radio programs. I co-hosted a radio program. I did everything you could imagine, because I was stepping into the dream, and I knew something was going to prevail because of my efforts. And I'm saying this to those of you who sprinkle a little here and sprinkle a little there, but you're not consistent. The reason that you see people who create success isn't because their ideas are any bigger or better than yours. It is because that they work to a place where they've sprinkled so much that there's nothing else that can happen accept a harvest. And I can tell you that for sure. When I think about a harvest, sometimes we think about it being an opportunity, but sometimes the harvest is who you become as a result of you changing, as a result, Erica, of you stepping into the dream. The harvest is that the girl I started out as with no products, not really sure what I was going to do, who I became as a result of stepping into this dream. I became a completely different person, and you will be too. And the coolest part is, once you start to grow those parts of yourself, you now can see other opportunity around you that you didn't see. I always say there's a layer of money around you that you don't see. And the reason you don't see it is because of the self-work. But as you start to do the work on yourself, there's a layer of opportunity that is literally waiting for you to step into it. I see it all the time with my clients who have been selling something maybe for $200 an hour. I'll show them a technique on how to take what they're doing, to charge high ticket for it, for the exact same thing. They'll go in a meeting, make a pitch, sell the thing for $10,000. We just had a client last week just share her story about how that happened. But it happens all the time. I have a client who came on a call just last week who, when she came to me, was barely charging over $1,000 an hour, close to first $80,000 contract. Come on, in a year, first $80,000 contract for one client. How cool is that? I have a client who came to me, okay, last year, in January last year, and over like 9 months, 10 months, closed over $280,000. This year, that same client has closed over $250,000, right? Angelina, if you were on the call, you see it. It's real over and over again. These women are consistently renegotiating their life by stepping into a higher version of their belief around themselves. And when you believe bigger about yourself, you can step into a different version of seeing yourself differently. And I hope that this is supporting somebody out here who said, Mia, I know there's more for me, but I'm not really sure where's that, how to get started. I've just laid this all out for you step by step. And you may be saying, what do I need to renegotiate, right? I'll open the floor in a minute for questions. And maybe one of the things that you want to renegotiate is time. That you like what you're doing and you make a great income, but if you don't show up, you don't earn. Okay. You don't have an ability to passively earn income based on leveraging and packaging your knowledge. Okay. And it may be licensing, coaching, consulting would be a great option for you, but you don't know how to do that. Or maybe you are a coach, but you're only working with clients one-to-one and you don't know how to build this business and get yourself free. Okay. Maybe that's you. Maybe you need to renegotiate money, the way that you're earning, the way that you're charging. I see and work with a lot of professionals who, when they come to me, they may be, doctors who are charging, or professionals who are charging $200 to $700 an hour, and they're trading time for dollars, and they're looking for a different way to be able to earn, right? Not trading time for dollars, but understanding how to really value and package their intellect. Because of my background in corporate training and designing so many curriculums over the years in training programs for myself, for private clients, I show them how to put what they're doing in a structure that's highly valuable, highly packageable. And it's something that can work for every single person. I have clients who have been mom coaches, organizers, and clients who are selling their knowledge as a professional, whatever they're doing, maybe a medical doctor of some sort that's got a process. Every single person has a system that it can be packaged properly. You just need to know how to do it. And it is my expertise. And the third thing that you might want to renegotiate, and I see this with everyone across the board, is lifestyle. And maybe what you're saying is like, you know what, Mia, I've got the car, I've got the house, you know what I mean? You got the kids, you got the dog, 2.5 kids, you got the dog, you got the picket fence, you got these things. But I don't have lifestyle. When you come home, you're too tired to enjoy what you're working for. And the thought that you go the next 10, 20 years that way is just, you can't imagine it. And I'm talking directly to you because I know that sometimes when you're really successful, the challenge is that everybody around you, that they see you as the top of the food chain and that you are successful, right? And because of it, they can't imagine that you want out or that you're suffocating. I get it. All right. But I want you to understand that you can renegotiate that. I have a lot of clients who are professionals who I show them, instead of charging fees, trading time, $200, $300 an hour, how I show them how to sell what they're doing as high-end consultants. And it changes their entire life and it changes their entire business. Okay. If you got a business you can't step away from, if that business is codependent on you always, it's time to think differently. I was just away for the last 2 weeks, and in Puerto Rico, had the time of my life. Time of my life. Okay. All right. That's my little glow. You guys see. And and I'm always just so grateful because I wasn't sure when I left how long I was going to be gone. I'm working on my book. So I was like, I'll just go, and when I'm done, you writing my book, or as far as I've gotten, then I'll leave. But it's nice to be able to travel without an expiration date. It's nice to be able to travel and not go on vacation, but that you can work anywhere you choose. See, when you sell your knowledge and you package it, it allows you the freedom to be able to do that. And I want to support more women and understand how to do it. Most people do not know. Okay. And I've coached literally thousands of women around the world. We've got an amazing track record. If you're smart, you're sharp, you believe in self investment, you're highly actionable, you are a giant in what you do. You have an ability to create results for others, but you're just not sure how to monetize this thing. And maybe you've invested in other things, like a million things over the years, and none of it's worked. This works. You need to check out our results on the Giant Experience page. I'll post a link here on the master training. Check it out because we've got tons of testimonials. That's just a sample of what we do there. We don't just create events. I don't just create events. I don't just work with anyone, and I don't just I don't create things that I know doesn't create value for people, that create results. We can back it up. And if you are interested in working with a mentor that's true, proven, check out the Giant Experience. Okay. And I would say that if what you might want to be able to renegotiate equally, number 4 would be your choices. Like, maybe you're just tired of having to choose from a small pool of choices. And I want you to know you've got a lot more options than you can imagine. A lot more than you can imagine. And I love that. Like, I love helping women understand what their options are. Did you guys get value, or did you get value? Now, tonight, what I talked about on this live is how to renegotiate your life. And what I did in essence is share how I renegotiated my life so that I could live the way that I wanted to, so I could be congruent. And I always say, like, fully expressed, because if we're not doing what we really want to do, are you fully expressed? No. Okay. And my goal is to support more women stepping into the giant parts of themselves. Playing small does not serve anyone. Okay. Literally, you stepping into the tallest part of yourself is what will change the world. If you want to attract the people you're meant to attract, you got to work on growing those inner parts of yourself so that you can be that person. And I always say, what matters? Being in the community with people who I call giants, women who are doing the things that you want to do. You're in company of a giant. Giants love the company of other giants. I have an appetite to be around giants. Let me just tell you. And my clients are incredible women. They're highly actionable, and they support one another. They love to watch their peers rise. They don't have capacity issues. They're not insecure. You know what I mean? If you've been looking for your people and you haven't been able to find them, or maybe you're that person that everywhere you go, you know the answer, you're smart, you're sharp. It's always been your path. And the truth of the matter is, people think you're extra, right? They just think you're extra, but you're just being you. And you've been looking for a high integrity group of people to hang out with, to grow with. your goals with. The Giant experiences for you 100%. You'll meet your cohort, incredible women. And, I'll coach you all the way. It's 45 days of access to my training. And it's a live training that I held back in 2019 that's really changed the lives of women. The women that attended the event, it was an intimate event, made hundreds of thousands of dollars within 2.5 weeks. And that track record has followed us along the event. We've got tons of women who have gone to the event and created amazing results. I can't guarantee that those will be your results because I don't know you and I don't know if you'll do the work, but I can tell you that we have a great track record with people who've gotten tremendous value from the event. And you'll see that on the Giant Experience page. In addition to the live training, all that's right. And in addition to the live training, in addition to the training, which is recorded, you also get access to me for 2 days live coaching. And I can tell you, I give you everything I've got. 100% people come out clear. And some of the women that come, they don't know what the product's going to be. And as a result of the process and the way that I teach my clients and the way I know them and the intimacy that I create in those moments, they get clear. They become sure. And, it's an amazing first step. It's early in the year, so it's just February. And it's February, so you've got plenty of time to get it right. So I wanted to open the floor, get your ahas, your takeaways from this live. What was your biggest aha, your biggest takeaway as a result of being here? I'm going to post a link for the Giant Experience here. And Lisa's here, Hilda's here. Okay, all the beauties are here. Hey there, Andrea's here. Okay. All right. So, Tawana, you say, I need help. Okay. You look great in the blue. I'd love to support you. Angeline, you attended the Giant Experience, I believe. Okay. And, if you're a client of mine, if what I'm saying, if it's not true, say that was not my experience. I can stand behind it because I've created amazing results and I have nothing to hide. 100%. Hilda says true. And let's see here. Andrea says absolutely. And Clara says all that and a bag of chips. Okay. Kenyatta says that's me. I'm looking for my people. My aha is growing in personal development. Being about my biz allows me to see other opportunities within my biz as they begin to reveal themselves. Kenyatta that's everything. There's a layer of money around you that you cannot see. And when you step into the person that you need to be, okay, you start to see those things. I see it with clients all the time. Lisa says 100%. You attended the Giant Experience. Hilda says 100%. The reality is that we all have the opportunity to change our lives with our choices. And you need to know that you're worth it, right? And Lisa says, hi, Giants. Hilda says her greatest lesson is renegotiate with myself, right? Isn't it cool to understand that you have the ability to renegotiate at any time, right? Your choices, right? The way you earn, your time, your financial stability, right? You can change anything in your life just by deciding I'm ready to renegotiate it. I don't like it. I'm ready to change this. Okay. Claire says, get back on the bike, ladies, right? Absolutely. Okay. Lisa says, you absolutely will benefit from a supportive network. That's my experience, right? So it's so important, very, very important. And Claire says, thank you for your inspiration. Any other ahas? Any other takeaways? If you're watching the replay, I want you to also post your ahas or your takeaways. I have had a ball today, and my only goal was to elevate your thinking about how to renegotiate your life. Okay. And because that's really important. Gwendolyn says her aha is renegotiate. Come on, Gwendolyn. Absolutely. Especially with Olympia being your middle name. How about that? Michelle says, my biggest aha is realizing my value. Isn't it interesting that the more we invest in ourselves, the more we realize how incredibly valuable we are. And you are your number one asset. You are. And Linda says, taking everything I've done over the years and package it into one product does it for me. You are the product, Linda. How about that? And one of the coolest things is for you to understand how to do it in a way that is the most profitable, that gives you the most leverage and time freedom, right? Really, really important. Okay. Huge aha, Hilda says. A layer of money around me that I can't see. And who do I need to become to see it? How cool is that, right? Like, who do I need to, what kind of investments do I need to make in myself? Time, money, and energy, right? And so that I can see it. Olympia says, Gwendolyn says, I go by Olympia. Okay. How about that? I didn't know that. Okay. Maybe I knew that, but I didn't know that. But how cool is that? Any other ahas or takeaways? Was this good or was this good? Okay. And I hope as a result of what you've heard today, that it'll allow you to step into a higher version of yourself. It'll allow you to say yes the first time, right? And then figure it out. And it's so important not to doubt yourself. Lisa says, knowing my value is one thing, living it change some shing diddy. Okay, professionally and personally. Isn't that interesting? So let me just read that again. Knowing my value is one thing, but living it change some shing diddy. Okay, right there. How about that? Okay, what about that? I think I did a good job with that. Okay, Linda says 100%. And Tawana says, to renegotiate my resources. Absolutely, absolutely. And you are your number one asset. Okay. And remember, we don't need to survey anyone to see if we can grow our lives. I think a lot of times women are like, let me talk to my husband and see if I can, invest in myself. Like, are you serious? Every investment I made, my family's been the benefactor of my growth. Let's be clear about that. All right. Kenyatta says, awesome, revealing, inspiring. Thank you. I invest in me daily. Teresa says, I love that. And Charmine says, I love your hair. My head is spinning because I've done all of these. I've placed checks on all of your items. So I'm stuck with what to do next. Is this for me? Don't want to go backwards, but need mentorship and guidance. Been searching for some time now. Help. Okay. So I think that happy to answer any questions that you might have. Offline, you can always inbox me at the end of this live, and I'm happy to answer any of that for you. And I think sometimes it's not a matter of, and this will help everybody, right? Sometimes it's not a matter of what you've done. It's not really the things that you checked off. It's that differential, right? It's like, it's what's the part that you didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, because if I look at only what I've done, then I only see the parts that I've done. But a lot of times it's the differential, and those are the small margins. And I challenge you to step into the giant experience. If you go and you do the training and you come for 2 days and you're like, this was not for me. Okay, I'll give you your money back. But I've only had one person ask for their money. Well, no, 2 people. One intended to get her money back from the beginning, and it was someone I knew. And the other, it just wasn't a fit. She was younger. It just wasn't a fit. And we've had hundreds of people come through. And usually what happens is we get thank you messages and thank you videos, okay, like that. So you got to, sometimes if you've done these things, have you mentored yourself? Because likely you might need something else. Who's holding you accountable? It doesn't have to be me, although I'm a great choice if I resonate with you. But it needs to be someone you respect. Okay. It needs to be someone that has a proven track record. It needs to be someone that has integrity. It needs to be someone that can transfer what they have done personally to you. Very, very important. Okay. Because just because I got a coaching program doesn't mean that what I've done myself, I can teach you. I've got an amazing track record. My clients book media, I coach them around that. My clients write best-selling books, I coach them around that. My clients pitch to corporations, I coach them around that. My clients do private consulting like I do, I coach them around that, and they do it at a high level. My clients build very successful coaching programs. I coach them around that, and I show them exactly what I've done. I show them exactly how to build a business based on time freedom, exactly what I do. I don't hold back. That's 100%. Okay. I hope that answers that. Lisa says reach. Okay, okay, I'm working with this, Lisa. Okay, Shimon joined the Giants, right? And Lisa said, let's see, she said, sweep the floor and it's clean, mop the floor, and you know the difference. This is about going deep with your mindset. It is. I always ask myself, like, literally when I left, this is such a cool story though, guys. This is so, but I'm not going to go here. Okay. But 2 weeks ago, when I left on Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, to go to Puerto Rico, I asked God, I said, show me what I need to see that I don't see. Show me what I need to see that I'm not seeing. Show me what I need to see. That's a really powerful query. And I will tell you that, Charmaine, ask yourself that question, because what came forward for me was like, what? Okay. Whoa. I thought it was going to be like book idea. Okay. But no, it was crook idea. Okay. So, really, really ask yourself something really, really powerful. What is it that you need to see that you're not seeing? All right. Because that is the thing that will move you in the direction of where you need to be. All right. Any other ahas or any other takeaways before I sign off, or any questions before I sign off? It's been a pleasure to be here. This is my first live. I'm a little rusty because I didn't do a live last week, really. But I'm so excited to be back. I'll be here every Monday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place. And I'm so excited to be here. If you're not on my newsletter list, make sure you join miaredrick.com. miaredrick.com, real simple, sign up. And I promise not to over email you. Okay. Usually when we get closer to the Giant Experience event, hey, Erica. Oh, you are. Oh, good seeing you, Erica. Congratulations to your son. Okay. I know he graduated and he's off. He's going to be playing a sport, right? Like at a high level. So I'm excited for you. Gwendolyn says the pleasure's mine. Clara says thanks. Charmaine says thanks. I want to thank you guys for being here as always. I appreciate you. Have a great and amazing night. Tawana says, how do I find out the cost? The investment for the Giant Experience is, what is it? It's 1997. It's 1997. It's 1997. And I will post the link here. And there you go. And let's see who else. There you go. The investment. I see it here. I think there's a delay. You're welcome, Erica. Just thank you. You appreciate it, right? Are there any other questions about the Giant Experience before I sign off? Okay. Lisa says, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Giants. Absolutely. Are there any other questions about the Giant Experience before I sign off? Okay. Because I'm happy to answer any before I sign off. I think there's a slight delay. Okay. So, but the Giant Experience is amazing. And I can tell you, Tawana, it'll change your life. It'll change your idea around what is in your hands, your skill, your talent, 100%. Awesome. Andrea, good to see you. Thank you. Have a blessed night. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Teresa says, thank you. Okay. Awesome. Okay. It was great being here. Talk to you soon. Have a good night. Bye.